Our planning focuses on maintaining qualities and identities that exist in the neighborhood space, while incorporating them into the future project for the neighborhood. We are raising the question, whether is it possible to preserve a local identity while planning for the future and taking into account the existing environment? Our case study is the Kiryat Menachem neighborhood in Jerusalem. The main thing we identified in the neighborhood space is the coexistence, the relationship of the vegetation with the building and man, the growth of the vegetation on buildings whether on a large or a small scale. The residential apartments are small and crowded. The residents of the neighborhood spend most of their day in the public space between the buildings. There is an approved construction evacuation project in the neighborhood. The future planning, in all ways, is going to flatten the entire complex and thus the neighborhood will lose its unique essence. The wide public areas, colorful vegetation, community spaces, and community gardening will be replaced by flat lawns, endless paving, generic gardens, and a 5-story underground parking lot will be excavated and built. Due to this massive construction and excavation, all the habitats of the animals and vegetation in the neighborhood will be damaged. We believe that there is a need for future planning in the neighborhood, due to the neglected condition of the residents' houses. The future planning should maintain values and qualities that already exist today in the neighborhood space and take into account the natural and human texture there. Our suggestion is to plan with a thought on how things will look in the future. We strive to preserve the existing while renewing the space to allow the slope to exist and to create a continuum of quality open space. Our plan does not change the design of the proposed buildings except for their connection to the ground. In order to preserve the topography, we want the buildings to create a connection as minimal as possible with the ground, thus creating a succession of flora and regeneration of habitats. All of this while preserving the back part of nature on the slope. In order not to dig in the ground, we offer a vertical parking lot that will answer all the tenants in the buildings. This way, instead of entering from a generic underground parking lot by an elevator, there is a human and nature encounters. In a time when cities are getting more and more crowded, this does not mean that what exists must vanish in order to produce the new.